Hi, welcome to this incredible experiment that is the Portland Social Distance Ensemble. This is my second show with a platform that was created by Danny Rosenberg. So Danny, thank you. And thank you to 45th Parallel. And today I'm joined with my friend and duo partner, Momoko Muramatsu. And together, since 2014, we've been playing together as 20 Digitus duo. That just means fingers. And we have a program of mixed music, a little classical, a little contemporary, a little Latin American, which is deep to our roots. And I wanted to mention that you can subscribe to the 45th Parallel channel by clicking below. I'm not sure if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, but that would be wonderful. And that way you can see ongoing concerts every Friday. And also, if you feel so inclined to donate to this organization, and through these times it would be used for the ongoing efforts to bring you music during these uncertain times. And speaking of uncertain times, I do realize that today is an important celebration in American history, and it's a celebration of Juneteenth. I believe it's called June 19th, and it's a celebration of the emancipation of slavery. And that has, the issue of civil rights has been much in the forefront of everybody's minds in these times. And as musicians, we sort of strive to bring unity and harmony through what we do. And I feel, I can speak for my friend Momoko as well, we feel very blessed. We have felt very blessed through our lives because music has led us to travel around the world and connect through different cultures. And we hope that as musicians in these times, our role is ever more necessary in bringing together people, making connections, musical connections, because music can be enjoyed by anybody and can bridge gaps where there may be difference. So we wanted to acknowledge that celebration, and with that in mind, we want to present a varied cultural program as well. So we want to start today with everybody's favorite composer. Well, I don't know if it's everybody's favorite, but it's definitely my favorite composer, Johann Sebastian Bach. And this arrangement for two pianos of a couple of arias, we'll only be playing one, from his masterpiece, St. Matthew's Passion, is considered by many one of the greatest sacred choral works written. The aria that we will be presenting to you today in this arrangement is called Erbarme dich, mein Gott, and it says, "Have mercy, my God." And in it is the representation of Peter asking for forgiveness after having denied God before the crucifixion. And and the lyrics, well, you won't hear the lyrics, but he says, "Have mercy, my God." And we hope you enjoy this achingly beautiful piece by the master, Johann Sebastian Bach. Thank you, Momoko. Yeah, I don't know. I always feel very moved by Bach. It takes me a little while to settle down. Yeah, so Momoko and I have been playing, as I said before, as 20 Digitus duo since 2014. But Momoko and I go way back to our college years at New England Conservatory, and we've been friends for a very long time. So it's been a real blessing to make music with Momoko throughout these years. We have so much in common, other than the fact that we, have this shared history of knowing each other for so long. And one of those shared roots, I guess you could say, is the fact that we both have Latin American roots. I know I look more Latin American than Momoko, but I'm a native of Puerto Rico, and Momoko was raised in El Salvador for the first 7 years of her life. And her first language was Spanish, and we have a deep love for everything that is Latin American. She also lived in Sao Paulo for in her teenage years, and that brings us to the next piece that we like to present to you. It's a beautiful, beautiful waltz, it is the original. It's called Branca, and it's just a female name. In Spanish, you would say Blanca. It's as a matter of fact, I have a family friend named Blanca, and so this is a beautiful waltz, and the melody is original by Zequinha de Abreu, and he was considered one of the most important folkloric composers in Brazil. Choros, machixas, waltz is sort of beautiful, folkloric music, and he's most famous, known throughout the world by the song Tico Tico no Fuba, which is a beautiful song that's been, in movies and everything. And this particular arrangement of Branca is for two pianos, and Momoko's mother, who's a very fine pianist as well in her day, when they lived in Brazil, she befriended a lot of composers. And the composer Francisco Mignone, who's Brazilian but of Italian heritage, befriended Momoko's mother. And Momoko's mother has been responsible for publishing a lot of these works in Japan, a lot of these Brazilian and Latin American works in Japan. And so Francisco Mignone did not change anything. He just complemented the beautiful waltz with the beautiful melody. So we hope you enjoy this beautiful waltz by Zequinha de Abreu and Francisco Mignone. Thank you. So now we're going to go to Italy, and a couple of years later. And for that, I'd like to introduce our featured guest, Ron Blessinger. Hi. The next group of pieces we'd like to play for you are by Italian composer and cellist virtuoso Giovanni Sollima. Back in 1999, I had the incredible luck, I'm going to call it luck, because, you know, sometimes you don't know the quality of a concert and you just show up. And the incredible luck of hearing Giovanni Sollima at the Kneading Factory in New York City, playing and featuring his Aquilarco album, which is outstanding. And he, he's a contemporary composer. He writes in a contemporary, mostly post-minimalist idiom, but he fuses rock and electronics and folk elements in it. And for a long time, I was like, oh, he's only a cellist. He has no piano music, or at least that I didn't know. And then I happened to run into these sub-songs. They're a set of 6. We'll be playing 3 of them. And they're for 2 pianos or for 4 hands. And again, he's an incredible improviser. There's a little bit of flexibility with presentation. And we're going to be exploring some of the timbre of the percussion elements with some inside the piano, some light inside the piano. Some of it is notated, some of it with added to increase different resonances. I'll be using a toy piano, which is below me. You won't be able to see it. Ron is going to be providing some percussion elements to it. There's 3 of them. There's sub-song 2, sub-song 3, which has the name Coda. That's the lively one, and it's sort of based, again, on a folk dance. It feels like you'll see it's kind of minimalist. And then the last one, which is a beautiful, beautiful, almost chant, a beautiful chant. So Giovanni Sollima, sub-songs 2, 3, and 4. you. Thank you so much. So I want to remind you again, my name is Maria Garcia, and I forgot to mention I'm in Northeast Portland. Momoko Muramatsu, she is in Northwest Portland. Ron Blessinger, violinist, longtime friend, percussionist today, executive director of 45th Parallel, is in Northeast Portland. And this brings us to our last piece. Also, I want to remind you, if you haven't clicked on to subscribe, I'm going to have a little bit of beer, sorry. I'm a little dry. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, do so. Click on you can subscribe to the mailing list. Therefore, you get reminders. And also, I think that way, if you click through YouTube, you get reminders of Friday concerts at 6 p.m. throughout these uncertain times. And if you feel so inclined, you can donate through the links below. As I was playing, I realized there's a lot of Italian connection here. We had Nazareth, not Nazareth, my apologies. We had Branca by Zacchina Abreu and Francisco Mignone. Then we had this piece by Giovanni Sollima. And our last piece to you is also by an Italian, very famous Italian, but an Argentinian at that. We would like to present to you Astor Piazzolla's Esqualo. And you know, those things that you mentioned by luck, I did not listen. I know that Piazzolla came to Boston when I was a student at New England Conservatory, and I did not go, and that was still one of the sad things about that I never got to see him play live. He was an incredible performer, incredible musician, and creator of the Nuevo Tango, which brought the tango to the concert stage. And he's revered by many, and Ron will get to actually play the instrument he was trained on, the violin. So we hope you enjoy Esqualo, which means shark, by Astor Piazzolla. this short concert, I'd like to raise my glass and drink this beer.
Great job, ladies.
Or get wine and salute you all. I know these are very difficult times, and we're just very. I feel very privileged to be able to share myself a little bit. I know my parents are watching in Puerto Rico, so that makes me
wonderful.
very happy. And so here's to Danny Rosenberg, Momoko, to you, and to Ron. And I think I would like to let Ron Blessinger finish the show with some words.
Oh, well, thanks, Maria. What a pleasure, and what a wonderful note to add at the end, Maria, about your parents getting to hear you play. I think that's what this platform is all about. So just as Maria has mentioned all night, subscribing to the YouTube channel really, really helps the effort, as well as donations. This is all about donations and about building a platform and building a way of connecting with artists the world over. We have big plans for great collaborations and great music to be coming every Friday night at a time when not a lot of performing is going on. We're grateful for the gift that Danny has provided us with this platform that allows us to make music at a time when making music is threatened. And on this particular day too, it's important. You know, the Juneteenth celebration is an important day to mark this moment in time. So thank you all for sharing this concert with us. You hear my dog in the background. So with that, I'll sign off and say thank you, everybody, and good night.